I'm Athina and I'm grateful that you're here with me today. Today we are going to have a pick a book reading. You can choose based on the book, the color of the dice or the crystals that I'm going to show you later. This reading is about what insight do you need to hear right now, and I am going to be using the books from Rebecca Campbell as well as her oracle decks to do this reading. This is not sponsored or anything like this. I just really like the work of Rebecca Campbell and I really enjoy doing the readings with the books and her oracle decks. So that's mainly why I'm doing this. So that's the gist out of it. So how you can choose your group or groups, it's easy. Group 1 has the book Light is the New Black, a guide to enter your soul's calling and working your light. Your dice is yellow and your crystal is this clear quartz. Group 2, you have the letters to a starseed, messages and activations for remembering who you are and why you came here. It's shiny. Your dice is the green one and your crystal is this green aventurine, so you have all green. That is purely a coincidence that it both are green. So there may be a meaning behind it later on when we do the reading. So, and then you can also choose based on Clairaudiant. I will be playing a different tune for each book, 1, 2, then I will repeat 1, 2. The Clairaudiant selection will be coming after the 1-minute meditation music, so that you can really take your time and choose your group or both with your intuition. And the timestamp are going to be in the description down below, as well as all the names to the books and the oracle decks that I'm using from Rebecca Campbell. I know there is a book missing from Rebecca Campbell, it's just that I haven't bought it yet. But I hope that if I do this type of reading again in the future, that I will have 3 books of her here in front of me. So then I will be leaving you for 1 minute so that you can meditate upon the books, crystals and dice, and I will be seeing you at your readings. See you! Pile number 1, you chose the Light is the New Black, the clear quartz, the yellow dice, and the tune that you heard in the beginning. And this is going to be your reading. I'm going to put your book to the side because I will end the reading with a passage from the book. in Libra Mentis style, and I will be starting with the Oracle decks first. So I hope you're doing fine. Please, Spirit Guides, what does pile number 1 need to... What insight are there for there? This one first. Please, Spirit Guides, what insight does pile number 1 need to know about? What insight do they need to hear about? Please, Spirit Guides, what insight does pile number 1 need to hear about? Okay. At the back of the deck we have Soul Family. Call in your tribe, you don't have to do it alone. Whatever you think that you need to do, you never have to do it alone. You are not in this world alone to do the missions, to do the lessons, to heal yourself. There are people from your soul family, your tribe that is out there wanting to help you, wanting to evolve with you, be with you, have memories with you. And the only thing that you need, if you feel alone and you don't have those people around you that you feel like, yeah, those are my people, they understand me in a way that not others could not understand. So if you are wanting to manifest those people, then call in for them. Send out a message to your spirit guides, to the universe, and ask for them to bring your soul family into your life, so that you don't have whatever you need to do. You don't have to do this alone, so that you know that you are not alone in this world. So that's for the back of the deck. Then we have yes. Just say yes. There is something your soul has been wanting for you to do, and the answer is a yes. There is something that is going to come to you where you have to decide, and you are going to feel wholeheartedly from the bottom of your soul that it is a yes. So say yes to that. Then we have deep replenishment, retreat, rest, be held. So there is also for you the need for you, pile number 1, to retreat, to take a rest, to replenish your energy, your and with that I mean rest in a mental way, rest in a physical way, and also in an emotional way, because life is everything. You need both your physical body to do things. Most of the time your physical body rests faster if you sleep, have a normal sleeping schedule, you go to sleep at a certain time, so that when you wake up you are well rested, that you had enough of sleep. For example, the times when you don't put in an alarm clock to wake up, when you go to sleep to the time you wake up without any alarm clock, how many hours is that? Because most of the times it indicates how many hours you need a day for sleep, and so you can work on your sleeping schedule. For example, I need at least 8.5 hours of sleep to be well rested. Sometimes a little less, depending on what I did on the previous day. Like if I haven't done much things, then I need for the next day a little less sleep. Sometimes I need a little more sleep. It depends on my mood and how my body feels. But I try to give myself the 8.5 hours hour. Sometimes I give myself a little bit more, and then I have slept too much. But I hope you understand what I mean. And also be held by others. I think this be held by what? By the universe, by Mother Earth, by your spiritual team. Know that it's okay for you to rest, to, in a metaphorical way, rest yourself on their shoulders, and know that they have your back. It's okay to take some rest. You don't have to work all the time on something. You don't have to heal all the time about past wounds and stuff like this, because going back to heal emotional wounds, mentally wounds that can come from the past is really taxing on all of you, in the physical body, in the emotional body, mentally body, and spiritual body. And there are times where you just need to rest after you've worked on something for healing. You don't have to heal all the time. I cannot do this. I have healed a lot in 2020 because that was the initial that I needed to take. And after that, I took in like steps and realized things slowly but surely, what I needed to work on and what else there is. For example, it's a little bit strange, but sometimes before I go to sleep, I'm like reflecting upon things and asking myself questions about the things that I wanted to know. And sometimes my spiritual team answers those questions that I had in form of dreams. They show it to me in the form of dreams. I was like, yeah, because I'm single and it's February, well. So one day, well, it was not in February that I asked this, but one day I was curious, so, who is going to be my next romantic partner? What are they going to teach me? Because all relationships that we have, they will always be challenging in some shape or form. They will always be lessons to us, because that's the easiest way for us humans to learn lessons. It's through relationships. And so I was thinking about what is this person going to teach me? And then I started to dream, and in the dream I hurt my left foot, and I was jumping on my right foot to be able to go to places. And my friend suggested for me to go to the hospital in the dream. So I said, yeah, you are right. I think I need to go to the hospital to do that. So I because I was at her working place, and then I went down the stairs, and there was a friend of my friend's boyfriend, and he was sitting on the stairs. And apparently, in the dream, I liked him. In a romantic way, of course. So I jumped the stairs on one foot to get my bag that was a little way under. And he saw me jumping on one foot and asked me, why didn't you ask for help? And I stopped in my tracks, and I was like, because I did not turn around because I felt like embarrassed. But as I said in a loud voice without turning back that I did not know how to ask for help. And then I jumped the stairs with one foot down to get my back and jump up again. And I knew that he came into my life for me to learn how to ask others for help, because there are times where I cannot do things alone, as we said here in the soul family. You don't have to do it alone. So, and this is something that I'm still struggling with, asking people for help. So I knew that he came into my life in that dream because I needed to learn to ask for help. So after we were up, we were outside of my friend's working place and his, apparently, because they worked together. And then we started to walk. Well, they were walking and I was jumping on my foot, but I was growing tired of jumping with one foot and the other not able to use because it was hurting. That I turned to him and said and asked if I could hold his arm so that I had something to help me move forward so that I could go to the hospital. And then instead of me holding his arm, so that I had something to hold onto so that it would not be as tiring for me to jump up and down to move forward, he went in front of me and kneeled and lowered himself so that I could so that he could give me a piggyback ride. And I was reluctant first, but I ended up jumping on his back, and yeah, and so he carried me, I think, to the hospital, because that's when the dream stopped. But when I woke up, I knew that my spirit guides were telling me, hey, you really need to know how to learn to ask for help, because you cannot do everything all on your own. So be held, in a sense. I'm picking up on this as a way of know that you can rely on others for help as well. You don't have to do this all alone, pile number one. So on to the next oracle deck to get more insights on what you need to know. Please, because what other insight this pile number one needs to know about? What are your garden? Nourishment, body care, tenderness, rest. So this card is all about giving your body exactly what it needs when it needs. Are there certain types of food and nourishments that your body is craving? Like, for example, sometimes I really am craving eggs. That's when I know that my body is craving it, probably because the eggs has something that my body needs right now. If it is protein, or if it is what else does an egg have for the body to need? I don't know. I'm not the how do you call them again? Not the doctor that works with food and nutritionist. I don't know. But yeah, caring for your body, like being tender to your body, not being harsh on your body. Like, for example, that is what I am seeing in myself, is I gained a little bit of weight, and so I have a little bit more of a belly and a belly fat. So I'm sometimes a little bit hard on myself when I look at in my mirror and seeing the roundness of my belly, and thinking on back how in the past I didn't have that, and where my my body figure was still in this shape, and now it's a little bit more it's still at this form, but a little bit more rounder. And so I've been a little bit harsh on myself and on my body. So it's a lesson that we both have to know. Pie number 1, being tender and nice to our body, because it is doing what it is doing to protect ourselves. It is fighting for life all day, in and out, without a break. So being tender to yourself, to your body, giving yourself the extra body care sometimes, like using a hand cream so that your hands are not too dry, or using body lotion if you have dry skin on all your body, so that your skin is not too dry, because when it gets too dry, it can cut easily on its own. So, and that's when bacteria can get into your blood system. So as a thing, but most of the time those cuts are not too deep, so it doesn't happen. Nothing will happen out of it. Just an example to know that if you don't take care of your body, things can happen. And this means also that if you are too harsh on it, if you don't give your body rest, your body will someday force you to rest, because it just can't take anymore. Is there any other insight that pie number 1 needs to know about? Please read, guys. Is there any other insight that pie number 1 needs to know about? Any other insight that pie number 1 needs to know about? Back of the deck we have Star Brothers, Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, trust. Know that you are protected. Know that you are safe. Trust into the universe, into your spirit guides, that there are people out there that are loyal to you and are going to be loyal to you, and that you can feel safe around them. And we have, you're not for everyone. Embrace your weirdness, face your true north. This is all about everyone is weird in a way. And that is good, because it would be boring if everyone would be all the same. Would you like to live in a world where everyone is the same, everyone wears the same thing, everyone acts the same? It would be pretty boring. There will be no such things as individuality anymore, because everyone would act the same, do the same thing, have the same clothes on. So being weird is a good thing. It means that you're unique, that you are one of a kind. And sometimes we have to embrace our weirdness. I am weird for a lot of things, because I have interest in a lot of fields. You would not know. When I was younger, I was in teenage years, I was totally into gaming and let's plays, watching YouTubers on playing games all the time, shooter games, Minecraft. What else? What did I watch? Well, other games. Well, and my dream was, when I was older, to have a gaming PC, to be able to game those games that I normally would watch the other game. And then I got into anime and manga, and I started watching a lot of anime with in Japanese with the English subtitles, and I got a little bit out of the gaming and more into anime. And then I started to wanting to learn Japanese because I found it such a beautiful language. I got into J-pop and listening to, most of the time it was the openings and endings of the anime that I listened to. Manga, I read a ton of manga. I bought a lot of manga to read here in German. Some I read not in a legal way, but on the internet in English. I got into webtoons. I got into manhwas, comics from Korea. I got into K-dramas. I got into K-pop. I got into spirituality, tarot cards, oracle cards, divination, healing, Reiki. I'm not now somehow back into gaming, but this time it's not YouTubers but VTubers, virtual YouTubers. I'm all over the place. I find interest in other things all the time because there are a lot of things out there. I listen to a variety of music. Like I got a little bit back into rock because my favorite VTuber, he is into rock and heavy metal. I'm not into heavy metal yet. I'm like, yeah, it's not so mine, but he, for example, the VTuber I follow, he makes his own music, and I listen to his music because I want to support him. So even if it's heavy metal, I'm listening to it, and I've grown accustomed to it. So this is my weird side. I have interest in everything. Sometimes, and then I lose the interest again and I move on to the next. That's my weirdness. So facing your true north is facing what you want to do, where you want to head, and just go there, because you're not for everyone. As I am, not everyone likes the things that I like. My friends, for example, are not into VTubers at all, or into gaming. One friend is not even into K-dramas. Then I have a friend that is totally into K-drama, K-pop, and spirituality too. Then I have another friend where she's into gaming, she's into anime, she's also interested into divination and tarot. So we all have our uniqueness. Then there's a friend of mine that really loves rock, pop, punk rock, heavy metal and stuff, and goes to concerts all the time. Now a little bit less because she lives a little bit far away from most of the time where the concerts are. Well, we all have our weirdness, and somehow I'm able to accept them all because I have interest in different things that they have interest in too. But they don't have all the same interests that I have. I would be really surprised if there was someone out there that had the same interest as me to everything. So yeah, just embrace yourself. Know that you are not for everyone. Not everyone is meant to be in your life as well. Then we have Starkeeper, cosmic ancestors seek the light by staying grounded. So you may be considering yourself a starseed as well. So you have a seed within you from a place, from a time that is not Earth, and you came here to seek that light here on Earth. But to be able to do that, you need to stay grounded. So you need to have in your routine something that grounds yourself. If this is meditating with a grounding stone, like What let me get them. Like depending on what stone you are called for, because all the stones, they have a different meaning for everyone. Like for example, some feel like grounded when they have a red jasper in their hand. For example, I have this in my pocket. I feel more grounded when I have this hematite with me. So black tourmaline is also a stone that is grounding. Most of the stones that are black, they have something to do with the root chakra, is what I have perceived throughout reading the books or the app on crystals that I have on my phone. But yeah, looking at what stones are for the root chakra that are grounding, and go see for yourself to which you are most attracted to. Or don't research at all and you go just to a crystal shop and see, thinking about a stone that is grounding, and see to which stone you are drawn towards. Most of the time I bought the stones because I felt pulled to them. Like for example, this green opal. I was looking at the thing, all the crystals, but I kept looking at this green opal here, this one, and the smoky quartz tower that I have, and a green moonstone. There were so many other pretty stones, but I was always fixated on them. I always came back to them to look at them, and I was like, okay, they are pulling me, so there is a reason to why. So I bought them because they were calling me to buy. So find something that grounds yourself. If this is a walk in the park, a walk in the forest, a walk near a lake, a river, the beach, whatever it is that grounds you, that brings you back into the here and now, do that. Then I'm sorry, defenselessness, riding past wrongs, uprooting. This one I'm going to read out of the guidebook because it's always the same card that I can not remember what it means. I have to always read this card out of the guidebook. There is not a time where I know what it means. So, I'm sorry. We're living in divisive times. When we are hurt and triggered, we tend to see things as a personal attack rather than an opportunity for healing. If we are to find true peace and unity, we need to drop our defenses and see things outside of right and wrong. As souls, we intrinsically remember unity and yearn for it here on earth. Perhaps this is why it feels so painful when we experience the opposite. But it's crucial to remember that we can't simply bypass reality and pretend that unity, love, and forgiveness are here. This is one of the greatest challenges for starseeds. To bring about unity, we must first acknowledge the ways in which both we and the world have been divisive, personally, ancestrally, and collectively. The shadows, hate, wounds, separations, severing, wrongs, and sadness. You may be called to explore how you, your ancestors, or your society have consciously or unconsciously inflicted pain on others, to find a way to drop the armor around your heart and see things as they truly are for all people, to say I'm sorry with an open heart and mean it, to be part of the healing rather than the perpetuation of inherited conflict or oppression. This isn't about blame. It's about unwinding the patterning that got us here. You may be called to devote your time to causes you believe in or do healing work on your ancestral line. Then something that you could ask yourself is, how are you being called to drop your defenses and unwind past wrongs? Then we have the great severing, Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. This is all about, because you know Mars, he is the planet of war. So you could say that there is also an underlying way of anger in there. And anger and conflict happen all the times in relationship. They are here most of the times because maybe we were triggered by something another person said, or we triggered the other person with something that we said or done, because there is maybe trauma behind there. There may be something ancestral going on that is rooted within our blood. And sometimes conflict also happens for us to grow as a person, because we cannot agree all the time with the other person. So having the communication with the other person, hey, look, I don't like this because it's triggering me because of what happened in the past. You're showing that you are vulnerable, that you want to change, and are looking at them to see if they can help you. Like, for example, they try to do it less, or say it less, or they want to help you overcome this. So you talk about those things. Sometimes just talking about what happened and allowing your feelings to come up is a way also of healing those things. So sometimes instead of reacting to something with anger and conflict, surrender to it with love. Don't beat yourself up or the other person. How can you show love in those moments when you are angry? Not by beating yourself up. Oh no, I got angry again. Why do I do this? Why do I have anger issues and so on, and blaming yourself for it? No. Show you some love. Because anger is human nature. It's one of the emotions that we have. We cannot just close this one off. So anger, okay, it's okay to be angry. Maybe don't say anything in that moment, and calm down and see and reflect, or take your time to reflect upon why did you get angry. What did it trigger? Is this a coping mechanism from something in the past? Show yourself love and say thank you, thank you, anger, for showing me what I need to heal, what I need to focus on. Then we have Star Family. You're part of a team of souls called in support. Yeah, you are not alone as we had with the Soul Family. Here we have the Star Family. You're part of a team. You're not here alone. For example, I have 3 guides that are part of my Soul Family. Only 2 of them I know by name. And they sometimes pop up. They have like different symbols to show me when they are around. One of them is, her symbol is a seal, and I'm talking about the animal. Then my other guide, when she's around, her symbol is the star, the 5-pointed star. And when I see the 5-pointed star, I remember the other guy, because she introduced herself with another guide. They were together. They were like a pair, a couple. So, and then I automatically remember him as well. So sometimes Soul Family are in the other realm. They may be incarnating. They may have incarnated not on Earth, but in another planet, but they are still there. Their higher self can still come and visit you. And some are even on Earth. Some have incarnated on Earth the same time as you. You may not know them personally yet, but maybe you will in the future if you call in for them. If you call in souls that can help you navigate through what you are going through, people that have maybe gone through the same thing as yourself and know what it is and how you feel and can give you advice on how they dealt with it, maybe you can use that and see if it helps you. Sometimes it does not help, because what worked for them may not work for you, but at least you have tried, you at least shown effort to it, and you will find the way how to do it. And then you have your life is a canvas, artist, manifestation, creative accountability. Know that your life is a blank canvas and you can paint on this canvas the way you want. You are the artist of your life. You can manifest whatever you want into your life. Your creativity knows no bounds, so you can do the things that you want. For example, in the past, I thought about, because I was working in a supermarket and this was a chain market, and I really did not like it. I was like, they are so unorganized. I cannot believe what they are doing. Like, because if you have a higher position on as a manager, you need to be organized. You have to also organize the people. Like, for example, my manager from my place, he let 3 people go on to vacation on the same week. There were like 3 people missing on the same weeks because they were on vacation, and one person was even called sick in already from some months ago, and my manager knew that, and instead of looking, hey, if we cannot work around this, as maybe one of the people that are on vacation to maybe go later on vacation, or search for someone else that works in another from the same chain but in another supermarket, if they have time to go out and help us out for a few days, it would have been a great help. But no, there were 3 people on vacation, 1 was called in sick by the doctor, and we were 4 people to handle the supermarket for at least 2 weeks. And you know, I worked my butt off at that time, because there were days where I had to wake up at 5, a little bit earlier than 5, because I would start working at 6 a.m. in the morning and work till 6 in the evening. Of course, I had my breaks. But being in a supermarket as a cashier is really taxing, because I'm not only sitting there talking to the people when I'm on the cashier and handling the money. No, I also go out. I have to clean things. I had also to put the products into the stuff. I had to control the dates of the meat and the salads, so that if something was bad, we had to put it away, so that our clients would not buy bad food because the experiential date was because of the expired date. I had to look at that we had enough drinks in the fridge, because people like their cold drinks, and it was summer, so I had to fill in those too. I had to be everywhere to clean stuff, to help clients when they did not know where something was, to show them the way. And this is taxing on a mentally and physical. And there was even some days that I had to work from 6 a.m. till 8 p.m. Of course with my breaks, but it was really physically and mentally taxing. And as an empath, it was also taxing because I was always surrounded by people and I was picking up on their energy. And I would come back home totally exhausted. I would take a shower and lie on the couch. And then soon after I had to go to bed again because I had an early morning or something like this. It was taxing. And I was like, no, never again. I went to a point that I was working so much that I was like, I cannot do this anymore. I'm on the brink of breaking down. Because I couldn't do any of the things that I loved. Because I had no energy left for myself. And so it came to the point where I did not want to work anymore. So, and then I thought, and I was even complaining to my friend about it, and I said that I think I cannot work for others anymore. Like, people are so unorganized. Like, I think I'm going to have a channel and have my own business and work for myself. I have now my own channel, but the business thing, I'm working on it because I'm not going to offer readings. That is something that I will do not. I'm going to do something else. But either way, somehow what I said then as a complaining somehow manifested, and now I'm here filming and I love what I'm doing. This is a passion of mine, a hobby of mine. So my business is going to be my work, so that I still get to be passionate about the things that I love, but I don't see it as work anymore, or will see it as work. So I'm going to have a business about something else that is going to be my work, so that I can stay passionate and motivated for this as just a hobby, a distraction, and something fun for me to do. So your life, you can create whatever you want to. Then we have deep cellular healing, Arcturus energy, physical and emotional healing. So you are healing a lot of things right now. It is on a physical and emotional basis. It is working because you have two cards that say that you need to rest. So you may have had some time where you healed so much that you did not rest after the healing. So maybe this is a little hey, after healing you need also to rest because this is physical and emotional taxing for you. Then healing what we had here with the past, your personally, your ancestral, societal things that may come up on your journey. And if you are interested in working with extraterrestrials, maybe work with Arcturus beings. They apparently they know a lot about healing stuff and have a lot of technology around that. I also hear, because I work with them sometimes, I also hear now Pleiades. The Pleiades also know how to heal some stuff, because I know that I have read it in a book. In the books, and plural, I read many books with channeled messages from the Pleiadian. So maybe with working with a Pleiadian, Pleiades, Arcturus, you know who you are called to work with. Or they will come to you if you go and ask for support. And on to the next oracle deck. Please read, guys, what insight does pile number 1 need to hear about? Sub Rosa, hidden in plain sight, mysteries, learning and teaching. What other insight? Yeah, okay. So, at the back of the deck we have the fertile void. Inner winter rest patience, potency, secret beginnings. Again, you have rest. Pile number 1, something that you really need to know about is how important rest is. And also, inner winters. There are times where we cannot work 24/7 on the things all the time. So there are times where we take things slower. We don't have a lot of ideas coming in, new ideas and such, because we need to work on something else. We need to rest. Those are the inner winters. We are cyclical as well as Earth, because when I'm filming this in the northern hemisphere, it's winter. So you see, nature is in winter. The trees are sleeping. Animals are sleeping because it's the inner winter. They need to rest. They worked hard throughout spring, summer, and then autumn or fall, either way. So there is a time where we need to rest, and to overcome harsh winters, we need to stay a little bit more indoors, do the bare minimum, rest up, because in those times where we rest and a little bit more for us, it's when we have patience, there is the potency, the possibility of new beginnings, for a new idea to come in when we least expect it. So we have then Sub Rosa, hidden in plain sight, mysteries, learning and teaching. Sub Rosa means under the rose, and in the Roman times, when people would meet in a place where they had a rose, how do you say this in English? Let me see in the guidebook. What was it? Rose what? Garlands. The Romans had rose garlands on the door, and so if the people came in, they knew that everything that was set in that place was under the rose. It was hidden. It would be a secret. They would not tell others what they talked about, and you could talk there about anything, politics. Most of the time it was about politics, because the man would talk about politics in the Romans times, or about war, whatever was the talk of the man. So everything that was under the rose was a secret. It was hidden. So this card is about learning and teaching, maybe those hidden mysteries that are out there. Maybe you are wanting to learn about the mysteries of the world, things that have been hidden from generations to generations to humankind. So learning about them, or the mysteries and stuff that you know about deep within your soul, that you otherwise no one could access. Diving deep into the mysteries and learning about them, and maybe even teaching about to others the things that you have discovered. Then plant yourself here, integration, embodiment, grounded action. This one I'm going to read out of the guidebook, because it's a card that I have not had appear to me before. Plant yourself here. Invite your soul to come all the way in, from your knees to your nose, your cheeks to your toes. Fully embody your life. Drop the defensive walls. Let your soul land and occupy each and every cell. Anchor all parts of you into the here and now. Life is here even when death is here. Birth isn't possible without it, and you came here to birth this world anew. Don't you remember? Fully committed to living this life. Put your 2 feet and your ancient soul wholly and completely in. This is the card of the one who's committed to being the bridge between heaven and earth. The embodied mystic. They know that they don't need to denounce either heaven or earth. Rather, they are a weaver of worlds, here to embody their soul more and more with each new day, here to weave the sacred back into everyday life. This card is an invitation to commit more fully to your life as a soul having a human experience. To invite your soul to grow roots that reach deep so that you can grow tall. To commit to your humanity and your expansion at once. The rose invites us to embrace all stages of life on earth, from the buds to the bloom, from the cutting back to the fruit. Her beauty and sweet scent are an embodiment of heaven, a nectarous reward for being here. The rose reminds us to take a moment to properly enjoy the sweetness and that heaven really can be a place on earth. So there is the question for you that you can reflect upon is, how can you commit more to your life? Then we have the rose thread, inner soul-led, the mystic, living courageously. This one I'm going to read out as well. Because it's one of the cards that don't appear often for myself, so I'm at the wrong place. The rose thread. This is the card of the mystic, the ones who's in touch with the depths of the inner world and the inner weavings of the world and beyond, way beyond. They're dedicated to listening to the mysterious voice whispering within, to following their intuition and living in accordance with that, to living by being guided by the rose thread. Following the rose thread means being dedicated to walking the way of the rose, to being in service to humanity and dedicated to writing a new story. It requires courage and faith and the willingness to pave a new path. The rose has been a symbol for the mysteries for thousands of years. The rose thread is the invisible path that the mystic follows. It takes courage to trust it, for the path is different for every single person. This is why it requires courage to trust the inner call, and those who do so find great reward. This card is a sign that you are being called to follow this initiatory path led by the thread deep within. You may find that you're in a place of great change and are being called to have faith and gather up the courage to take the next step. This card is a sign of encouragement to keep taking the next step. It's acknowledging the courage it takes to live a soul-led life and honoring you for always taking the leap. Then we have a rose transmission here. It's you can see it as an affirmation. Even when things feel unclear, especially when they do, I trust that I'm always led from within. So, on to our last oracle deck for today. Then we are going to get a message from your book that you have chosen. Please, Spirit guides, what insight does pile number 1 need to hear about? What insight is there for pile number 1? So at the back of the deck we have the rainbow. Sweet relief, new beginnings, a new way forward. Ooh, I'm going to read that out of the guidebook because it's a nice card to have. The rainbow. There are countless myths from all corners of the world that future rainbows. In most cases, the rainbow symbolizes a bridge between heaven and earth and is a sign of good fortune. Perhaps the most widely known story comes from Irish folklore. It says that there's a pot of gold waiting at the end of the rainbow, guarded by a leprechaun. In Norse mythology, Bifrost, the rainbow bridge, connects Earth with Asgard, home of the gods. Ancient Japanese folklore says that rainbows are bridges that the ancestors of humans took to descend to Earth. In the Old Testament book of Genesis, God sets a rainbow in the sky as a comforting symbol to humanity that he will never again destroy the earth with floods. Ooh, I'm getting goosebumps. In this oracle, the rainbow is here to comfort and reassure you that the future is full of hope. If you've been going through a challenging time lately, the rainbow is your sign that there are clear skies ahead of you. Rest deeply in the knowledge that the rainbow brings with it a feeling of sweet relief and a simpler future. There are new beginnings beckoning you forth. There's a clear and vibrant way forward, and the path is steady with opportunities for deep joy, safety, comfort, and peace. Then an affirmation is, I am ready to welcome the new beginnings that are waiting for me. Then we have birth mysteries. What are you being called to create? There may have been a voice whispering in you for you to do something, for you to start something, for you to birth something onto this earth. Is it a song? Is it a book? Is it a dance? Is it music? What is it that you are being called to create? Is it a new way of being? A new belief? Whatever it is, you have been called to create something. So, what is it that you are being called to create? What are the steps necessary for you to create that? What do you need to have? What is a small step forward to bring that into existence? And sometimes it can also be that you are here to create new life, to birth a baby, or to be a parent of some sort of way. I don't know. Everything's welcome here. So, ask yourself, what are you being called to create? What has been constantly whispering to you, do this, start this? What is it? And start creating. Then you also have she who flows, is being open to change, go with the flow of life. This is a card that I have never pulled before, so I'm going to read that one out of the guidebook. She who flows. Water is the most powerful force on our planet. It has the potential to destroy everything in its path or be embracing, still, and gentle. When a river meets a rock, it doesn't try to move it. Instead, it embraces it and flows around. It doesn't question why the rock is there. It sees as part of its path. Water teaches us how to flow with life, how to greet the obstacles on our path with open arms and receive life fully. In this way, the world's waters have literally shaped and crafted the entire landscape of the planet that we know and love today. Mountains and valleys, coastlines and woodlands, all are the result of water embracing life. The ancient Greek goddess Rhea was the daughter of Gaia, Earth, and Uranus, Heaven. She's also referred to as Cybele, mother of us all. In his work, Cratylus, the philosopher Plato referred to Rhea as a stream or she who flows. Perhaps Rhea herself, goosebumps, has much to share with us about how to truly flow with what appears on our journey, whether expected or unexpected. Call upon her to support you in embracing any unexpected changes you're facing. This card invites us to stop seeing the unexpected things in life as obstacles and instead to treat them as invitations to embrace life, to find a way to soften and embrace what occurs rather than try to avoid it or fight it, to flow with rather than resist. Then the questions that you have here from this card is, what unexpected obstacles are you resisting or fighting against right now? What would happen if you embraced them as part of your path? So let me see if the phone's still filming. Yes, it is. Because if you did not know, there was a moment where I was filming and the phone just stopped filming on its own and I lost like half an hour of video. So now to your last thing, it's a message that comes from the book Light is the New Black. So please, spirit guides, what last insight do you have for pile number 1? What do they need to know? What is the last message for pile number 1? Being of service. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Maya Angelou, I think, is how you... Angelo, I don't know how to pronounce that name. It's a quote from this person. Being of service means devoting your life to something greater than yourself so that your presence can make a difference in the world. Being of service doesn't have to be a humongous mission where you need to single-handedly save the world, cure cancer, or run off to a Buddhist monastery. Making a difference in just one person's life can have immeasurable ripples. My year 7 English teacher, Miss Dorothy Bottrell, served the world by embracing her eccentricity, open-heartedness, and presence, and by encouraging creative uniqueness in all of her students. Instead of wearing something plain and simple like all the other teachers, every day her outfit was an expression of her spirit. When she spoke to her students, she spoke to their hearts and made them feel truly seen. From the first day that she took roll call, I felt both special and inspired all at once. Miss Bottrell turned a creative writing assignment into an inspiring adventure. She told us that there were stories waiting to be told and that we were the perfect people to tell them. She informed us that our assignment was not to write a piece of creative writing. It was to write our very first book. And the reward for writing the book was to be able to share our creations with the children at the local kindergarten. She said that these children were waiting for us to tell them the story that only we could tell. Miss Bottrell inspired me to pour my heart and my soul into my book. Where do rainbows come from? In school vacations, I went to second-hand bookstores looking for ancient inspiration from all of the ages and mystic traditions. I spent hours illustrating it with my favorite Derwent watercolor pencil. It was even published by Tucker Glynn and Co. My friend Terry's dad, accounting firm, had a color printer and binding machine. Hey, it was the 90s. I will never forget the day when Miss Bottrell handed back our books and congratulated us for being authors. Enclosed with my book was a handwritten 2-page letter straight from her heart with a carefully chosen wrapped present of a rainbow and dolphin window sticker and a poem written by her that she said was inspired by my story. I started crying from how special and loved I felt in that moment. I then looked around the room and discovered that she had written a letter and carefully chosen a present for every student in the class. Miss Bottrell had touched the hearts and encouraged the spirits of every single one of us. I still have my book, and in the process of writing this one, got my mom to bring it over to me when we met up in Paris. Miss Bottrell was completely unconventional and unlike any other teacher I had ever known. Had she spent her years striving to be like someone else, the world would be a much less compassionate, creative, and bright place. My life, for one, would have been a little different, and I have no doubt that there are hundreds, if not thousands more, who were touched by her spirit. And then you have here a mantra that says, I light up the world by being me. Then we have here at the next page, serve where your heart swells. So, this is everything that I have for you, pile number 1. I hope that this could help you. I hope that you liked it. I am wishing you all the best on your journey, and I will be seeing you in my next video. Bye! Hi, pile number 2. You chose the letters to the starseed, the green aventurine, the green dice, or the tune that you heard in the Clairaudiant selection. And this is going to be your reading. I'm going to put your book away because I'm going to get the last message for today's reading from the book. And I will be starting with your oracle decks. With the oracle decks. Not yours, they are mine. I bought them. So, let's get started. Hope you're doing well, pile number 2. So please, spirit guides, what insight does pile number 2 need to hear right now? Please, spirit guides, what insight does pile number 2 need to hear right now? What insight does pile number 2 need to hear right now? Please, spirit guides, what insight does pile number 2 need to hear right now? What insight do they need to hear? What insight do they need to know about? Boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? Looks like pile number 2 that there is a need for you to establish better boundaries with others, with yourself. So where do you see that you need to have better boundaries? Let me read that one out of the guidebook. Maybe it can help you find out what really a boundary is. Boundaries. You are being called to create clearer boundaries in your life. This could be with your friends, family, or work. Saying yes when you really mean no leads to resentment, which is the biggest energy drain ever. At first, it might only be a little bit and not feel like a big deal. Before you know it, your energy field becomes porous and you are left feeling depleted, resentful, or taken advantage of. Saying no and having clear boundaries is actually a spiritual act. The most giving, loving, compassionate people are those with the clearest boundaries. For when they say yes, they are able to give unconditionally. When your boundaries are clear, others know where they stand and you are able to give freely. If you are not clear where your boundaries lie, this causes confusion, resentment, and energetic cords to be planted. If you are saying yes when you really mean no, you are likely needing something yourself. Ask yourself, what part of me needs something from them? It could be a need for approval, a fear of being seen a certain way, or fear of loss. The best way to gauge your boundaries is to check in with your belly. Your belly is the second brain. It has an intelligence known as your gut feelings. Tune into this space when deciding what is okay for you. How does it feel? What is it trying to communicate with you? So where do you need to establish better boundaries? Pile number 2. Is there any other insight for pile number 2? Trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? This is a card about if you knew that you had all the money that you needed, all the resources that you need. Everything's working out perfectly, like you have enough money, you can pay your bills, you have a nice home, you have enough food, everything is taken care of. What would you do with your time? If you would be a millionaire or billionaire, what would you do? If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? This card is about when you have in mind what you would do if you were a billionaire, when everything would be taken care of. This is the thing that you need to do with your life, or have more in your life. For example, if I knew I would be taken care of, if I had enough money to pay my bills and certain stuff, I would firstly leave home, because I would like to have my own 4 walls. I would probably film a lot of videos for YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I would stay more often in the amino community that I would do the things that I love, that fulfill me. So what would you do? Can you do something right now? Is there any other insight pile number 2 needs to know about? Please read, is there any other insight pile number 2 needs to know about? No, not from this deck. Okay, at the back of the deck we have Priestess. How are you being called to step up and lead? I'm going to read this one out of the deck because it's such a nice card. I don't know why I am humming to the music. Maybe you are humming or are incredibly happy. I don't know. So, Priestess. The Priestess is a teacher dedicated to service, freedom, and leadership. You don't need to have it all together to lead. In fact, it helps if you don't. No one wants a perfect angel who hasn't made any mistakes. Let your life be your message. Don't underestimate the power of sharing your story. It's by hearing someone else's journey that we feel less alone. We realize that we're actually all in this thing called life together. The difference between a follower and a leader is that a leader has the courage to go first. And stepping out, they shine a light on the path for others to venture forward too. Don't fret too much about trying to work out who is your tribe. Don't get stuck in age, income, hobbies, or occupation. The best way to discover your tribe is to look in the mirror. If you feel called to lead, chances are it is because at some point in your life you longed for someone to lead you. Your tribe are longing for exactly the same thing as you were and are. It might only be one step behind you. Hell, they may even be right alongside you. You don't need anyone's permission, just the courage to stand up. Embrace your struggles, the peaks, the truths. Throws. I don't know how to pronounce that word. You don't need to know the way, just believe that there might be a different one. Your tribe is waiting for you. Step forward so they can find you. Then we have here some questions that you could ask yourself is, how are you being called to step up and lead? And how can you be the leader you wish you had? So on to the next oracle deck. So, what other insight does pile number 2 need to know about spirit guides? What other insight does pile number 2 need to know about? What insight does pile number 2 need to hear about? What other insight is there for pile number 2? You have double mission and your life is a canvas. They came out together. So, double mission, light worker, starseed, serve the world by being you. This card is all about that you came here with a double mission. The first mission is for you to raise in your own vibration to evolve as an individual. And by doing that, to raise the vibration of the collective on Earth and to help Earth as well raise in vibration. And how you can do this is just by being you. Just simply be yourself. You don't have to change massively in character to serve the world. Just you being you is fine. There will be a time where you will be able to touch someone's heart with your words or with your actions. If it is a working colleague or a friend, you will reach them and they will be touched too by it. And then they will maybe do the same for someone else and touch someone else's heart. And this will be a ripple effect. So just you being yourself is already enough. Because you came here on Earth to be simply you. To just live life and experience life by being yourself. With all that there is in you. Then you have also, your life is a canvas. Artist, manifestation, creative, and accountability. Your life is a canvas, a blank canvas, and you can paint your canvas the way you want to. You can manifest whatever you want to. You can live your life however you want to. You have the creativity and the power in your own creativity to do and live your life how you want it. I'm going to read that one out of the guidebook. And pile number 1 got this card too, but for them I didn't read it. But for you, I feel like I need to read it. Here. Your life is a canvas. You're the artist of your life, and your life is a canvas. Take responsibility for your ability to create. Earth is known as a planet of manifestation. Your present moment is based on your past thoughts and beliefs. Your current thoughts determine your future. What kind of life do you want to create for the future? What are you being called to create? Reconnect with your manifesting power and align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the vibration that matches them. It's never too late to start, and no experience is required. All you need is an open heart and mind and consistent daily action. If you're not sure what you'd like to create, start instead with a feeling of deep gratitude for all that's good in your life right now. State out loud what you're most thankful for. Look for the good in your life, and one thing will be certain. You'll find yourself attracting more and more good experiences into your life, into your world. This card is inviting you to see your entire life as a canvas, and the picture is completely up to you. Color it with your thoughts and feelings. Create the life that you most long to live. You may also be called to be more creative in your everyday life. What have you been called to create? How can you express yourself more creatively? So the question here for yourself are those that came in while I was reading the meaning of the card, and also what are you being called to create in your life? So at the back of the deck we have lost lands, soul memories and gifts. You've done this before. This card is about ancient times, lost lands. Those lost lands, some of them we know by name, like Lemuria, Avalon, Atlantis, even other planets that have been lost, like Mintaka and Lyra. We may have had past lives in there, in those places, and we have memories from those places. We've learned things from there, and so those memories and gifts became our soul memory. Maybe we are already doing something that we've done in those times right now. So try to remember your soul memories and your gifts that you've worked hard on those other lifetimes. And maybe you need to bring that back into this life. And know that you've done this before, so it will be easier for you to get into it. It's like when you learn a language. For example, in school I've learned French, but I have not been able to use French as often as needed, because I live in Switzerland, where in the part of Switzerland that speaks German. So my ability of French is a little bit rusty. So I went to a course to refresh my French abilities, and by that things came back to me, and I started to remember, I remember we had this, and you come into this a little bit faster than normally. If you would start a new language, you would have to start reading pronunciation and things like this. It would take longer for you to be able to have this, to come to a certain point in ability. But if you already were in this certain point and you haven't used that ability for some time, you will learn to get back to it a little bit faster than if you would start totally new. So know that you've done this before, that you have inside you the wisdom, the gifts and memories of those lost times. It's just for you to tap back into it and to know that you've done this before. Then on to the next oracle deck. That was a bad shuffle. So Spirit Guides, what other insight this pie number 2 need to know about or to hear? What other insight does pie number 2 need to know about? What insights does pie number 2 need to hear about? Please Spirit Guides, what insight does pie number 2 need to hear about? What insight could be of help to pie number 2? Please Spirit Guides. What insight is there for pile number 2? Any insight that could help pile number 2? Any insight that pile number 2 should know about? You have planned yourself here integration, embodiment, grounded action. This card came in pile number 1 as well. And as in pile number 1, I'm going to read this one out of the guidebook because it's a good card. It's a really good card to read off the guidebook. Plant yourself here. Invite your soul to come all the way in. From your knees to your nose, your cheeks to your toes. Fully embody your life. Drop that defensive walls. Let your soul land and occupy each and every cell. Anchor all parts of you into the here and now. Life is here even when death is here. Birth is impossible without it. And you came here to birth this world anew. Don't you remember? Fully commit to living this life. Put your 2 feet on your ancient... Put your 2 feet and your ancient soul wholly and completely in. This is the card of the one who's committed to being the bridge between heaven and earth, the embodied mystic. They know that they don't need to denounce either heaven or earth. Rather, they are a weaver of worlds. Here to embody their soul more and more with each new day. Here to weave the sacred back into everyday life. This card is an invitation to commit more fully to your life as a soul having a human experience. To invite your soul to grow roots that reach deep so that you can grow tall. To commit to your humanity and your expansion at once. The rose invites us to embrace all stages of life on earth, from the buds to the bloom, from the cutting back to the fruit. Her beauty and sweet scent are an embodiment of heaven, a nectarous reward for being here. The rose reminds us to take a moment to properly enjoy the sweetness and that heaven really can be a place on earth. The question that you should ask yourself is, how can you commit more to your life? Let me take a sip of water. And at the back of the deck we have the breathing rose, heart healing, emotions, connection, time eases. I'm going to read that one off the guidebook because it's one of the cards that doesn't appear often. So I have no idea what it means. The breathing rose. Often healing is a slow, steady process. It's complex, not linear. It takes as long as it takes, and most of the time that's much longer than we'd wish. But like all things in nature, there's a mysterious intelligence to it. And if we trust it and let the vibrant petals fall to the earth, cut back what's no longer, and protect the new shoots and buds from being pried open, we may find ourselves in a second bloom, and fruit will follow. You can't manufacture that. We must trust the great mystery in the process. The bud somehow managed to burst through the constraints by opening to life. All of nature has this intelligence within it. The challenge when we are going through a time of healing, which is another word for growth, transformation, change, is not to close ourselves off from the world when we most want to separate and shut down. To somehow find the courage to open through the agony, the difficulty, and the hurt. And when we feel safe enough to let life soften us, not harden us, to deepen and cradle us. This is a card of deep heart healing. It will often come to us as a symbol of emotional healing that's in the process of happening. The mending's underway. Treat yourself and your healing with compassion, understanding, and gentleness. This is a card of deep encouragement that you're doing it. Time will ease everything soon. Then something that you could ask yourself is, how can you treat yourself with gentle compassion and softness? How can you trust the timing of your healing? And then on to the last oracle deck for today. then I will be picking up your book to read up. So please, spirit guides, what insight does pile number 2 need to hear right now? What insight does pile number 2 need to know about? What insight could help them right now? Please, spirit guides, what insight does pile number 2 need to know about? What insight does pile number 2 need to hear about? What insight is there for pile number 2, spirit guides? What is this everything? So at the back of the deck we have stagnant waters, feeling stuck, a call for shifts, flow and change. You may be feeling stuck right now, like stagnant. And that's because there is something that needs to be changed in your life. There is a call for you to shift things so that you can flow again. Because you know when there is a pool of water that had a way to come out and flow to a different place, the water in that thing is really clear. But when something blocks the water from flowing, things can gather and the water gets a little bit muddy and not so clear. And so the water, it's like the water doesn't know what to do next. And the same goes for us. Sometimes we don't know what needs to come next because we've become stagnant. Day-to-day life is the same old, there's no changes, and you feel like something is amiss. You feel stuck, something is not right, but there is a need to look within and see what does need to change. What shifts can you make to flow again? That is my 2 cents. Let me read out of the guidebook, because the guidebook has a different way of talking about this. Stagnant waters. Perhaps it's the movement of water that contains the intelligent flow of energy that makes life possible, the life force that animates all living things. When water stops flowing, it can become stagnant. The lack of flow can cause a build-up and lead to pollution. Perhaps we're like that too. Perhaps we need flow just as much as the waters of the world. This card brings with it a call for flow, movement, and change. How can you begin to flow a little more with life's changes? Where in your life do you feel stuck? What has become stagnant or lacking of vitality, ease, and flow? How are you being called to re-inject more movement into your life? Sometimes when we go through life, our energy can become stuck. Physically, emotionally, spiritually, romantically, and yet life is always there to support or return to flow, to movement. This is a wonderful card to receive, as it comes with a magnificent opportunity for shifting energy and embracing change and the new possibilities. Perhaps you've become complacent or just feel stuck. Maybe you've been avoiding something deep down and this is causing the waters within you to stagnate. Perhaps the intelligence of the water is inviting you to call upon the intelligence within you to find the courage to embrace a new way of flowing with life. So, what feels stuck or stagnant in your life? Pile number 2. What shifts are you being called to make? So, on to the next cards. We have the Mist. Trust your inner compass. Be led from within. This is a card about that whatever idea or project that you want to do, you should trust that inner voice telling you to do it. Even if you don't know what will come next, what the next step is going to be and how the future is going to look like, trust your inner compass. Let yourself be led from within, from your soul, from your heart. Everything will fall into place when the time is right. For example, when I started this YouTube channel, I didn't know what would happen, if it would even work out, if there would even be someone that would watch it, if there would be someone that would find the messages that I am saying are of help. But I just trusted my inner self and the voice that was telling me that I should start filming, that I should do it. And so I started doing it, and the voice became quieter, but I continued doing it because I had fun. I would come back alive, more energized after doing my videos, because all the time before I start making the videos, I'm a little bit more on the lethargic side. And when I do these videos, the pick a card readings, the other videos that I talk about, the things that I've experienced, or things that could help someone out there that I've come to learn in those years that I've been into spirituality and divination. And I started just going with it. And slowly but surely, things started to pile up, like a friend talking about Reiki, and I was like, oh cool, this can help me with healing. So I started to look into Reiki as well, and if I could find a master teacher to teach me. Unfortunately not from Switzerland, because it is really expensive, but out of nowhere, a psychic, a tarot reader on YouTube, hold on, she talked about her experience with a certain Reiki Master teacher, and that it helped her heal things and support her in her healing journey, and said that Reiki Master teacher is doing an online course for beginners, level 1 Reiki. And I was like, oh cool, online. And then I was like, let me look into it. And the price of that online course was manageable for myself, and I was like, I think this is a sign for me. So I entered that one, and it was a beautiful experience that I even talked about in a YouTube video. It's in the playlist, Reiki, and I don't know what. Hold on. Let me see what is the playlist called, because I don't know, and I'm sorry for the noise outside. My parents are talking to each other. Yeah. Okay, I can not look up in which playlist it is, but as soon as you see Reiki, not Reiki healing, just Reiki, I think, then you will see the video where I talked about my experience in getting Reiki 1 and Reiki 2. But Reiki 3, now that I myself became somehow a Reiki Master teacher. I didn't think that I would do this. I thought that I would just go till Reiki 2, but there was something in me that said, no, Reiki 3, because it really is expensive in Switzerland to get a Reiki Master teacher to open up. And I found it so nice from my Reiki Master teacher that she offered this through online at a reasonable price so that everyone can have access to it, that I thought maybe someday I'll be like her too and follow in her footsteps. So I just went with the flow, and now I'm a Reiki Master teacher myself. And yeah, and I will see what my inner compass will guide me to next and what I should do next. Now I do Reiki healing on YouTube, on my YouTube channel as well, so I'm able to help others. So you never know what the future will bring, but it was a wonderful experience. My Reiki Master teacher is a wonderful person, and I really love her humor. So that's it. So maybe with my story, you know that if you let yourself be led from within, you will find people and experiences that you think, I'm glad that I've listened to my inner compass. So time for you to listen to it, and even if you don't know what will be in front of you, just try it. You never know what will be around the corner. Then we have the wishing well. Unexpected gifts, kindness, karmic jewels. So this is a card that I have never gotten myself before. Let me just put the cards here and read that one out of the guidebook. The wishing well. It's said that in ancient times women would sing and whisper into wells, believing that the water would carry their message from one corner of the world to another. This may sound like something from a children's fable, but in fact several scientific researchers have theorized that water can be imbued with energy from our thoughts, emotions, and intentions. Wishing wells are found all over the world, and they mirror to us the great reverence held by our ancestors for Earth's fresh waters. Greek mythology says that the tradition of wishing wells began through the practice of throwing coins into a sacred well of the warrior Amphiarus. Sorry. Now the Greek in me came out. Who was a renowned oracle. The wishing well is a wonderful card that carries with it great blessings, gifts, and fulfilled wishes. When it appears in a spread, it's a sign that things are happening, and that the realization of your dreams is likely to occur. Of course, any creation requires embodiment and action, so it's not a sign to stop moving toward your dream in practical ways. Rather, it offers deep encouragement to keep going and to trust that all the groundwork you've already put in place is working. It can also be a sign that helpful people are coming into your life to support you in creating your heart's deepest desires. Then we have here a healing water affirmation. Maybe you wanted to use that. So here it is. I receive all of the gifts that life has to offer me with an open heart and an open mind. I I'm surrounded by kind, helpful people. Things are working out for me. I'm living my heart's deepest, most daring prayer. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Here, if you want to take a closer look to it, the affirmation is this part here. So, if you keep on going, your manifestations will come. What you have wanted will come to you. You just have to keep on going and know that everything's going to work out for you. Then we have birth mysteries. What are you being called to create? Birth mysteries really adds to your life as a canvas. So what have you been called to create? What is it that wants to be created from you? There is something in you that only you can create in this world. So what is it? Listen deep into yourself and listen to the whisper. What has been wanting to be created by you? That is what this card is all about. There is something that wants to be created. And you are the one that needs to create it. So what is it? What do you want to create? What do you want to give physical form to? Is it a painting? Is it a book? Is it a song? Is it a poem? Is it a dance? What is it? Then you also have flow the stream, dedication, trust, future rivers and oceans. Ooh, that is a card that I have never seen before. Meaning it never came up before. So let's see what it means. Follow the stream. Streams can begin as small trickles and end up as immense rivers and vast oceans. They've been providing humanity with sustenance since we first appeared on this planet. Follow the stream and trust that one day it'll carry you to the rivers and oceans of your future. You're being called to surrender to the current of the waters that you're in, to trust the path you're walking and to keep showing up day after day to what you're building. What might seem like a small trickle right now holds the promise of becoming a river or ocean in the world. Keep putting one foot in front of the other and trust your path. This is a card of trust. You may not yet be able to see the future outcome, or perhaps you're not quite sure how to get to where you're going. That really adds to the mist here card. On the journey, there will be many steps that require faith. This may be one of them. You're being encouraged to find that faith, to keep facing your true north, to follow the stream and let it carry you. So commit to your passions and be dedicated to what you're creating. Keep showing up day after day after day. If you do, before you know it, you'll have created something huge, simply by showing up in small, consistent ways. So the question for you is, if you trusted your path, what would you do? Well, this card is like a mixture of your life is a canvas, birth mysteries, the mist, trust your path. Everything in one. Last but not least, we have Mother of the Salt Waters, passion, white love, open your heart, let love in. Ooh, this is such a nice card to have. And the card that I have not seen often. So, the ocean's unknowable, untamable vast beauty has beguiled humans since time began, and numerous deities are associated with her salt waters, from the Greek goddess Amphitrite, wife of the sea god Poseidon, to Yemaya, West Africa's queen of the sea, goosebumps, and from Doris, the Greek goddess of fertility and the abundance of the ocean, to Aphrodite. Sorry, I'm pronouncing the Greek names of the deities. Doris, the fertility, to Aphrodite, the Greek goddess of love and beauty, who was born out of sea foam. The ocean is a symbol of the feminine mysteries, love, beauty, and great passion. This card delivers with it a message of love as deep as the ocean and passion as intense as the deepest blue sea. It's an invitation to welcome the feminine qualities within you and to really let yourself dream. It's an invitation to see the beauty all around you and to let love in. It could indicate that great love is on the horizon or that a new passion is drawing near. The mother of the salt waters could be a sign that new love or new relationships are about to enter your life. Or if they're already here, perhaps you're being called to open your heart and be even more embracing and loving. If you're facing conflict, how can you soften your heart while remaining true to yourself? How can you embrace the people in your life? How can you trust more and welcome the holding and support? Your question here is soul inquiry. How can you let more love into your life? So I'm going to leave that one there for you to reflect yourself. And now to your last message. We are going to get a last message from the book Letters to a Starseed. So please spirit guides, what insight does pile number 2 need to hear right now? What insight does pile number 2 need right now for them to keep on going? What is there for pile number 2? Now we have 2. So, I'm going to read that one first and then this one here. Okay. Find your flower. I believe that nature is teaching us how to be human every moment of every day, and that flowers in particular hold information about who we are and who we are becoming, blooming and transforming into. I believe that here on this planet we each have a flower that holds a similar quality to who we are at a soul level. Celestial notes to self. Flowers sent from the soul to ourselves on the earth to remind us who we really are. I believe that in different periods of our life, as new things are blooming within us, the qualities that are wanting to open up within us can be coaxed out by working with flowers. I believe that it's impossible to work with flowers and not have your heart opened more and more, and little by little they will return you to the nature of who you really are. So soul inquiry, to ask yourself, if you were a flower, what flower would you be? Then we have here, we are like flowers. Maybe flowers are here to teach us how to be human, how to unashamedly embrace our true nature, no matter how different or beautiful. To realize that we are not meant to look or sound or act the same, that diversity isn't just important but necessary for life. To keep remembering that there's a sacred timing to things, that there's enough room for everyone, and that it's impossible to bloom all year round. Maybe flowers are here to teach us how to be human, to stand tall like the poppy and strong like the thistle, to be resilient like heather and reach our roots deep like the fig, to defy the norm like the hawthorn, to courageously open through our fears wholeheartedly like the peony, to be unapologetic like the passion flower, to remember our sweet innocence like jasmine, to take a leap and go first like the daffodil, to be willing to risk it all like the cherry blossom, to know it's never too late like the winter rose, to trust the changing seasons of our life like the hydrangea. Some of us are here to inspire like the garden rose. Others are here to activate and protect like the crown of thorns. Some are sensitive like the orchid. Others are here to leave a mark like the lily. Yes, perhaps that's what flowers are here to teach us. How to be our unique selves on planet Earth. Pie number 2. This is everything that I have for you. I hope that you liked it. I hope it could help you. Thank you for sticking with me till the end. I wish you all the best on your journey, and I will be seeing you in my next video. Bye!